How this will impact small businesses. Let's go to Jim Garland, the CEO of Sharp Details and the author of the new book, The Practical Guide to Exceptional Living in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much, Jim, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sandra. How are you?
I'm doing great. Jim, we've got viewers who are chiming in. They're all riled up this morning, obviously, reacting to the passing of this health care plan. As a small business owner, what are the assumptions that you're making this morning, waking up after this has been passed?
Well, I think it's going to have a negative impact on small business. I mean, anybody with 50 or more employees is going to be required to provide health insurance or pay the fine. I think people are going to be looking at maybe not creating as many jobs because they're going to try to stay under that 50-employee threshold. And if you're a really successful business and you've done well, now you're looking at increased taxes as well. And we're already being hit by increase in taxes in the unemployment at the different state levels as well. So we're kind of getting hit from every angle as a small business.
And hit from every angle, your understanding is that now the government will have its hand in your business and they will be mandating that you purchase health insurance. And how do you expect this to play out over the next year?
Well, I think over the next year it's not going to have a huge impact immediately because most of this isn't going to kick in until 2013. But I think, what you have is you have small business owners that are really kind of on the fence about what they want to do right now because they're not sure which direction this is going to go in. And if you're a smaller business that doesn't fall under this regulation, the question becomes, hey, if I like the plan I have now, can I keep it? And I've been hearing mixed views on that. Some people say, sure, if you're 50 or less employees, you can keep your plan that you currently have. And others say, no way, the government's going to mandate what kind of plan you cover your employees with, if you cover them at all.
That being said, Jim, it's still a tough time out there. Still we're trying to get out of this recession. Still a lot of people out of work, small business owners like yourself reluctant to hire. I mean, could this potentially put some small business owners out of business in the longer term?
I think it probably could in the long term, especially if you're, on the larger side of a small business, where you may be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're going to have to pay. And when they talk about, well, hey, if you don't want to cover your employees, you can pay the fine. That's another question that's raised. Okay, so you pay a fine. Is that a one-time fine? So if I have 100 employees, do I have to pay a $200,000 fine and just come up with that money every year? And that's the type of things that can put a small business out of business.
What specifically, as far as I know that not all of us have had a chance to go through this plan, obviously a couple thousand pages to read there,
right.
But what specifically concerns you the most about this bill?
I think what concerns me the most is a couple things. If you're a small business with over 50 full-time employees, you're going to be mandated to cover all of your employees with health care. And that's a huge cost and a huge issue. Secondly, if you're a small business owner that's been very successful and you've made over $250,000 a year in your personal income, now you're going to be hit with additional taxes as well. And then if you really look down the road as a small business owner and you say, hey, I've been very successful, I've worked hard, and I want to sell my business, now you're looking at your capital gains going from 15 to possibly 24%. So every step of the way, I think that this new bill inhibits growth. It's a deterrent to growth, and you almost get penalized the more successful you are.
That being said, you're not going to shut your doors. What plans are you making to pay for this?
Well, what we do, and we do it every year. We did it when the economy went south. We shore up our resources. We look at our P&L. We make cuts wherever we can in our expenses. And then we just put together a plan for growth. And if I could give any advice to small businesses right now, it's continue to try to grow your revenue stream because you're going to need it. And the best way to do that is to get out there and market, get your business out in front of people. And a lot of people will immediately cut their marketing budget when the economy goes south to try to save money. And I would say do the opposite. You need to really be thinking about revenue right now. Control your costs and increase your revenue as much as you can because you're going to need it to have to pay for some of these things.
Jim Garland, Sharp Details CEO, thank you very much for joining us on this very important topic.
Thank you.